from clinching home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. And I'll have you know that was their last road game then of this season, the regular season, and maybe the postseason as well. They host the Steelers and they host the Panthers to wrap it up, and they are sitting pretty there at 12-2. Shregs, what stood out to you the most from last night?
What a valiant win the Saints had there. It wasn't pretty, but sometimes it doesn't have to be. They had the 3 road games in a row. They lost to the Cowboys. They beat the Buccaneers ugly, and they just beat a division rival, and Drew Brees summed it up perfectly. The Panthers were playing for everything, and they gave them everything on defense, and they found a way. What we don't see in the highlights is the Saints' fourth quarter. I think you see 12-9, and you say, okay, it was close, and then you see this play. And the Saints in the fourth quarter had the ball for 14 plays, 79 yards, ate the clock 7 minutes and 30 seconds, possessed the ball for 14 of the final 18 minutes of the game. And let's go to the mistake. This was a critical mistake that Drew Brees says. This is what happens at the end. It's 3rd and 4. You can easily take a knee and just take this one to the end of the game. Tommy Lee Lewis goes for the end zone and fumbles, and then this could have been this could have been the season for the Saints. Why do I say that? Because if the Panthers find a way to come back and they win, and then the Saints lose somehow next week to Pittsburgh, then down the road, no. The Saints find a way to respond to adversity time and time again. This game was one that could have very easily gone the other way. Instead, the defense comes out. They stop the Panthers completely. And now what happens? Kay, you laid it out perfectly. Home in the Superdome next week. Home in the Superdome week 17. If that happens and they win those 2 games, you've got a bye where you rest in your own bed. Home in the divisional round. Home in the NFC Championship game. And guess where the Super Bowl?
In Atlanta.
And guess where it is? It's indoors. Okay? So they're done with outdoors. For the rest of the season, the Saints are done with outdoors. It's the best possible scenario. Enjoy it, Saints fans. It wasn't pretty, but you got through this rough stretch, and you earned it every step of the way.
For me, I'm looking at that running game. I'll take you back to high school. I was a point guard, and I could shoot a little bit. But my strength, it was going to the ground. It was going around you. I could jump a 42-inch vertical. I could dribble the ball, handle it, and I can get to the bucket. Whenever my shot wasn't falling, I knew as long as I could lean on that handle, as long as I could lean on that speed to get around you, I can get to the cup and finish whenever I want it. I'm looking at this passing game for the Saints. It's kind of like the jumper. Sometimes it's money. They Steph Curry from deep. And other times, clink, it's just not there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's all the attention on Mike Thomas. I don't know if it's different individuals not playing as complementary players. But you know what they can always lean on? It's that running game. It's the fact that you got
low block.
Alvin Kamara, that low block. It's pounding on the ground with the 2 superstars. And there's my guy, Mark Ingram, right there, who is as brute as it gets. And then Alvin Kamara with the pure speed. And both of these guys doing it in between the tackles like you're seeing right here. And then catching out of the backfield. I mean, they combined for 177 total yards in a TD. So regardless of what happens in the air, because that's what we assume, right? They're going to put up 50 points every single game. It's December, baby. And January is coming. And February is around the corner, which means you got to run the ball and play tough defense. So in a game where you're facing Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis and different individuals on that Carolina Panthers defense making plays, you got to do stuff like this and hit them where it hurts with a superstar just like that, Alvin Kamara, bouncing it outside and scoring a touchdown. So regardless of what you want to think about these fancy offenses, they got this running game, and that will always be the pillar of this team.
That little baby hook, right? That's all you got to go to. What do you think, Karen?
I just want to talk about the defense. You're talking December. We've talked about run game. Defense has to be mentioned here. Cam out-camped Cam again. Cam Jordan has permanent residency in the mental state of Cam Newton. It's true. He's got the broom on his cleats. He's got the wine in his locker, all of that. And Cam stopped the run. How awesome is Sheldon Rankins and Cam Jordan holding Christian McCaffrey, who is lighting up the league week in, week out. They're the #1 run defense in the league, guys. They sacked Cam 4 times. McCaffrey was held to 3.5 yards per carry. That doesn't happen every week, especially with that running back and how versatile and elusive and powerful he is. Over the last 6 games, and the Bears look good, this is your #1 defense. Over the last 6 weeks in the league, allowing 12.3 points a game. 6 straight games, Kyle, allowing 17 points or fewer. Nobody in this league has had a streak of that of more than 4 games this season. They are really, really stout on defense right now, and if they get to play at home, they're going to run the show. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Also, Eli Apple, that's what a testament to the coaching that happens down in New Orleans. He's a misfit in with the Giants. He has a beautiful interception in the end zone yesterday, and he's looked good for the past couple of weeks. So big thanks to, by the way, Caroline, Cindy, and Ashley from the Black and Blue podcast down in New Orleans for sending me a Christmas present early. The Saints hat. Thank you.
Okay. That's your team, Kay? You going with the Saints right now?
They're my Super Bowl pick.
Wait, I thought you said the Bears were
What do you
unstoppable
mean?
yesterday.
Saints versus Chargers are my Super Bowl pick.
Okay, all right.
Well, the Saints D was even better than we're showing because one of the plays was not on the highlight. Christian McCaffrey threw a touchdown pass in this game, which was really the one huge play that the Saints gave up. If it weren't for this, he's on a fourth down, as we're talking about, fourth down.
Big.
And he sneaks out and he gets it to Manhurts, close friend.
Martinez!
No, Manhurts, Peter. How dare you? Well, look at the pronunciation guide. So if not for that play, which, you kind of just tip your cap to McCaffrey and the Panthers there, it's an awesome play, and McCaffrey became the first player since Peyton, I think, to have 50 rushing, receiving, and passing, which is very cool. But enough about them. The worst collection of jokes, I think, on the whole planet is golf course jokes. I just hate them. They're very corny.
Really?
Everything you always hear one, no matter what. If you ever hit a bad shot, it hits a branch, it goes out into the fairway, someone will say, hey, there's no pictures on the scorecard. Don't worry about it. There's no pictures on the standings. And that's what I say about the Saints last night. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Drew Brees probably lost the MVP last night. I don't think he's getting it anymore. Mike probably lost some fantasy championships, didn't have a huge game. Who cares? That thing you were laying out, Peter, about the Tommy Lewis and the fumble and everything, if they lose that game, that means they could be going to Soldier Field. They could be going to the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Championships are won and lost in week 15 and the home field. Brees said it perfectly. They gave us everything we got and we still won. Who gives a crap if they didn't have a lot of points? All that matters for these teams now, survive in advance.
Yeah.
No big injuries, no losses. This is just all about getting that home game. Huge win. I will say what the box score said.
The offense hasn't looked the same, and I know it's not sexy to talk offensive line play, but Terran Armstead not being in there, Max Unger got hurt last night. Like,
he'll be back.
There are reasons for a little bit of caution with the Saints offense, but it doesn't matter. They got it done, and once you get indoors, that is a built-in touchdown lead. That is a built-in touchdown lead.
Yeah, you're right about that. Let me add this to Saints fans, because I looked at the picks that I've had. I've picked against the Saints more time than not, so let me say this to Who Dat Nation. My bad. I apologize. I should be wearing a beanie like Kay. You guys are one of the toughest teams, and like Kyle said, it doesn't matter how you guys do it. You guys are doing it, and with your record, the best team in football.
This Saturday, starting at 4:30 p.m.